Hi, I'm Toby,
And I'm Tammy.
and this is Totally
Totally
on
on
Brand.
brand.
We're back on the couch. Hey, girl,
Hi,
how
what's
are
up?
you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a new week.
I
What's going
know,
on?
new season, new week, new
New
everything.
everything. How's it going?
It's going,
How's
chilling
work?
like a villain. Work, busy, busy, busy. What's new?
Busy, busy. Like
What's
nothing changes. Nothing changes. Just dealing with new hires, dealing with new training, new team, everything new. But we'll get there in the
Well
end.
done.
Yeah, well,
How much people are you hiring? Are you like doing a big overhaul
So
for hires?
it's slow and steady. We've had some capacity requirements based on like new projects that we're working on. So we're
Okay.
slowly onboarding new people, but it's been a while since I've hired like this many people. Well, it's not
About
many,
how
but
many?
3 to 4. But
That
all at
is a lot.
once is
Yeah, yeah.
quite intense
I
for a
don't
small
like having
company.
too many new people at the same
It's
time.
so jarring to company culture. Everybody's like,
Yes.
who are these people?
It's a lot of training and not sometimes you as an entrepreneur, you're already extremely busy.
Mm-hmm.
To now get each of them that
Mm-hmm.
detailed time that they
Mm-hmm.
need for that onboarding process is
Mm-hmm.
very tedious. Good luck.
Thank you.
Don't envy you. Speaking of hiring, isn't it
Mm.
interesting because it links back to our topic for today?
Yep.
Now, as you were speaking about hiring people, I want to ask you as an initial, you see, as you were going on that journey, what are you looking for you from your own company? What are the roles you're looking for to start with?
So we're looking for brand strategists, we're looking for digital marketing specialists, we're looking for a web developer, and we're looking for an HR manager.
Fantastic, which is interesting and brings us to our topic for today, which is what to look out for in your hires. This
Mm-hmm.
is so exciting to me because a lot of us entrepreneurs, we're constantly venting to each other about how difficult it is to find the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided we're going to table this topic because
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to know what are the things we have done when we look for our first hires and what do we think we all need to start doing when we look for our actually not first hires when you look for your hires generally because I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it has to be first, second, or any
Absolutely.
detailed point.
Absolutely.
So Timmy,
Mm.
what are you looking for in these roles to start with?
Okay. So you know how, obviously you are nothing without your team.
Mm-hmm.
We like you and I were just the other day and we really simplified it and we just said that we want people who get it. Do you understand? Like we want people who everything that you've put out there, whether it's the job description or the culture or whatever, we just want people who get it. But I feel like we need to kind
I
of
love
break
that
that
word.
down.
What is get it?
Exactly. Like, what does that mean
Do
to
you know why I
you?
like that word? It's become it's like two words.
Mm-hmm.
Then I felt like it was a phrase. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
almost a slang.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say it, you get what the person is saying, right?
Absolutely.
Like, do you get it? Do
Mm-hmm.
you think it's possible to hire people that get it? And what do we want them to get? What does get it mean?
Hmm. I think it's possible to hire people that get it. I should even be asking you because one thing that scares me personally, well, it doesn't scare me, but it's daunting is growth. You know, if you have
Mm,
3 team members, okay, 10, 15,
it's a
20.
lot.
You have
It
how
becomes
many?
a lot. At the moment, we're on 220.
So, how do
Yeah.
you, the one should answer this question? How do you believe that people can truly get it? And if they do, what is it that you look for in them to define or to say, okay, this one gets it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So for me, the journey has always been starting with that. I know the role I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You put out your JD, you go through that whole process, you find candidates. It starts with me from that sit down. Fortunately or unfortunately, over time, I'm no longer in the space where I'm hiring at every level.
Mm-hmm.
So before I used to hire everybody that walks into my organization. Now I do um, lower mid up, but mid, what was lower mid up?
So, okay, give an example of a middle
So I
stuff.
wouldn't interview the waiters
Okay,
anymore. I now
okay,
let the managers do that.
fantastic.
But anybody supervisor up,
Then
I
you're
still
interviewing.
want to
Okay,
interview and meet them.
perfect. Mm-hmm.
And for me, it starts with that first time we sit down
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for things about you that you are able to communicate and sometimes not able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of observing, watching, asking, and looking for the key traits I'm looking for, which brings us to the word traits.
Mm.
Like it comes down to what are you looking for in that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, the moment you sit down, there's a level of self-awareness I'm looking for in you, and if I see it in the first 5 minutes, great, I'm excited. We're going in somewhat. If I don't see it, I now have to ask myself a question. Are you going to carry on this interview for the sake of it? Or are you going to carry on because you want to dig in and see if the person just couldn't articulate themselves properly? What about you? Where does it start from?
Yeah,
Finding people that get it.
it definitely starts at the interview, I would say. And I also, so I think the approach we take is like stages. So stage 1, interview; stage 2, stage 3. So stage 1 is almost exclusively with HR, whoever is hiring. Stage 2 could then be with maybe a senior person in their department. So maybe like the creative director can interview us, have a say in the interview of a graphic designer, like input. That usually comes in the form of an assessment.
Got you.
Then the final stage is when they interview with me. And just like you were saying, there's certain traits that I look for in the person. And I mean, the technical, that's fine. Can you graphic design? I'm sure you can, for you to have made it to this stage. But there are other things that we really want to look out for to make sure they get it.
In
Do
fact,
you
some
understand?
graphic designers are not good because those traits don't exist that makes them excellent.
Yeah.
So they can do graphics.
They can design, but
it's just
interpreting something to make a design. Yeah, they don't get it. So we always look for these things. And you and I were talking about this one, which is a big one, especially in our dear sweet country, is initiative. Initiative.
Do you know what? I actually want Google to tell us what initiative means. I'm going to Google it quickly because I feel like it's a word we use so loosely.
So loose. Also often
But
too.
I'm not sure if... Hold on, I'm going to really type this out. Google initiative. What's the layman's definition to start with before Google? It's someone, for me, when I think of people taking initiative and I don't have enough of it, it's people being able to handle things without my input.
On their own, yeah.
Yes. I really need to understand what Google defines initiative as, and I think you beat me to it.
So, okay, there are two. And the second one is almost exactly what you said. So the first one is the ability to assess and initiate things independently. Shall I read the second one for you?
Yes.
The power or opportunity to act or take charge before others do. So others in this situation would be the manager or the supervisor, but the power opportunity to act or take charge.
Do you know what's so interesting? And I feel like I don't feel like we have enough of those in countries like Nigeria at the moment. I feel like, everyone knows this. There's a huge brain drain. A lot of people have jackpot. Our education system is a bit flawed. So initiative, I would say, is such a struggle when people are hiring. But it's something I don't think you need to, or you can compromise on, because without people taking initiative, your company is going to struggle.
Absolutely. Perfect example, I would say, of taking initiative. And this is one, and you know why I have this example in my mind is because every time I think of you, I think of Baloch. So, when you're at what's it called? The turnstile or whatever it is.
Yeah, the barriers.
And then they want to look in your boots. And then there are cars with clear boots. The boots that you can see in. And the whole point of looking in the boots is so that, right? So then obviously there's some boots you have to open. You're driving a camera, you have to open the boots. And then it's like you can see in. But then because the instruction is that they should check the boots, that's a good example of not taking initiative.
Wow.
And it slows down operations, it slows down like customer perception, feedback, everything. And it really does affect a lot of businesses.
It does. And I feel like I recently sent a message to a brand owner. I would actually mention it was Newsy. I had made an order and I made a mistake. I actually made a mistake with the fabric and size I wanted. And I reached out to them thinking, oh my God, this could be a disaster, because we all know how it goes when you want to return or make changes in Nigeria. And I didn't reach out to the brand owner. I reached out to the team directly and I told them, hi, I think I've made an error. This is where I am with this situation. And immediately the person online said, our customer, somebody in the operations team will reach out to you to figure out how we can solve it. Now, they didn't promise, they didn't shut it down. They said someone will reach out. Now, someone reached out to me, and very lovely girl. She said, look, we'll help you swap it, but the best thing for us to do is for you to actually come in, because you've got your size wrong. You've gotten your fabric wrong. We're not going to help you. We want you to come in. So we take your measurement. And when I reached out to the business owner to say thank you, she actually had no clue
I love that.
that had happened.
Yeah.
And it felt so good that her staff were
Yeah.
able to identify the problem,
Yeah.
fix it,
Yeah.
and take that level of initiative of saying, this woman seems to not be clear on where her body is at the moment.
Please
So
come in.
just come in and
Yeah.
we'll do the
Let's
work.
sort you
And
out.
she was so happy when I gave her the feedback, and
Yeah.
that made me feel really good. And I would go back to that brand just because
Yeah.
her team
Yeah.
is solid enough to take the right initiative.
I absolutely love that. I mean, I just have a quick example, and this is like shout out to Jennifer, who's my project manager. And I was just minding my business. I was just, and then I get an angry call from a client, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, our website is down. I was like, really? So I called the team. I was like, what's happening? And Jennifer was like, yes, they're owing us, and they've been owing us for 6 months. So I just took the initiative to unpublish their websites because a breach of contract is a breach of, and I was like, as you were. I don't even.
I love
I called the
that.
clients back and I said, my team. Do you understand? Like they
Yeah,
have
I
their
love
KPIs
that.
and they have their processes, and maybe you missed the invoice, Sha, but they paid the next day. They
I
paid the next day
really like
because,
that.
and it just made me feel such a sense of pride.
Shout out Jennifer. Do
Shout
you know
out
what I like
Jennifer.
about what you've done is also the fact that you didn't just take initiative, you actually solved a problem
Yeah,
for you before you needed to step in,
yeah,
because if you had stepped in, it would have elongated the solution,
absolutely.
because then Tammy, you would have to call the client, oh, please pay, and they'll probably sweet talk you, give you another week. But her ability to decide how to solve that problem, take initiative to solve it,
It
and
helped.
also maybe a sense of ownership as well.
Honestly, I think
She
that's
acted on your
she
behalf.
did. She did. She did. And that that brings me to something I'm so curious about. Like, so you can help me out. How do you get people to, because one of the things that when I'm hiring people is not so much, okay, can you come in and do the work? It is that, are you going to represent my brand in a positive way? You're like a mini brand ambassador, essentially. Every time somebody interacts with you, they're interacting with the brand, the way you interacted with Newsies, customer service. So how do you identify that somebody is going to have a sense of ownership towards your organization?
I think for me, there are little things I look out for when I meet you or when you start working for me. I need you to be a bit curious.
Mm-hmm.
If you're curious, you are going to, without a doubt, take ownership because you're asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
When you have staff who don't ask you anything,
Mm-hmm.
be wary of it,
Mm-hmm.
because they're just there to, one, follow instructions,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of just be a body,
Mm-hmm.
and three, if they're not asking questions, they're either afraid, lack confidence, and in turn, that would definitely lack initiative
Mm-hmm.
and lack a sense of ownership and lack problem solving. So don't do it. So for me, curiosity is key.
Yeah.
And I say that because in hiring recently for the restaurant, my general manager is so fantastic. She came to me recently and she said, I have decided that we need to close for 2 days. Tammy, I thought, who did? You or me?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I did. And I was like, okay, I agree. And
That initial shock.
the initial shock, the confidence,
Yeah.
and she had created a document to
Yeah.
explain to me because she knows who she's coming to. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, why? And she goes, I've sent you an email. Will you please open this email
Yeah.
and open the attachment? I thought, oh my God,
Yeah.
Temi Bami, they found my match. And when I read her document, I almost wanted her to close some more days. And for me, it was the level of, I am going to inconvenience your business. You are going to panic at the reasons, but I need you to trust that I'm taking ownership.
Yeah.
I am solving a problem and I am taking initiative, and that
Yeah.
is what you have hired me
To do.
to do.
Yeah.
Now, I spotted that in her personality when I first interviewed her, because when I started our interview by saying, do you have any questions of why you even want to work here? And if you want to work for a woman, and why do you want to work for the hospitality industry? And she asked me questions sometimes in her answers. And I already like that. That's curiosity. A curious person wants to grow. A curious person wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
A curious person wants to help you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's also good to, and it encompasses a lot of things we've spoken about: initiative, problem solving, ownership. But curiosity to me is also being able to talk and ask questions and communicate. I have always been the kind of person, and we've talked about this before, you can't be the smartest person. Like, I encourage an open door policy. You come, you talk to me, you ask me questions.
Big
There's so
deal.
many times I'm telling people what to do on my team, and they're like, I don't think so. I don't think we should do it this way.
I
And I'm like, okay, why? It's not, because I have worked with people who are like, I don't care, that's the way we're going to do it. Like, and
Mm.
it's so jarring to me. How can you be a leader and not have, take on constructive feedback? So that sense of being able to, or being a safe space for your team to communicate
That's a
with
big one.
is important to me. And I think it's very important in just generally, when you're hiring, some of the things you should ask, like some of the
Mm-hmm.
questions you should ask should really be around how open are you? How honest are you? Not
Mm.
how honest are you because, they will say they are,
Mm-hmm.
but there are ways you ask people questions that kind of extracts their level of honesty.
100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of that is
Mm-hmm.
in my line of work,
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of issues with integrity. So
Mm-hmm.
there's always like a lot of theft
Of
and
course.
stealing and
Yeah.
stuff because of the daily cash
Yeah.
or the daily
Yeah.
flow of money.
Yeah.
Now, it's so interesting you said that because I was interviewing recently for an account assistant and I had this guy in front of me and I asked him a question. I didn't know how to ask him, are you honest or not?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your integrity level? So I
Mm-hmm.
twisted the question. I said, you're an account assistant, you're hired by an accountant who
Yes, who's
works
your
for me.
boss? Yeah.
What happens? I looked him in there and I said, what do you do if your boss is stealing from me? Are you ready for the answer?
I'm intrigued. Please tell me.
That was the end of the interview.
So,
That was the end of the
yep,
interview.
yep.
He couldn't really voice anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that because even if you don't know what to do, I want you in that moment to say, I'm not sure. I
Mm-hmm.
would freeze because I wouldn't know what to do if the person who should be looking after me is stealing. But what you cannot do is just be completely silent because what that does is show me that when you are in that situation, that same silence is what you're going to use to respond to the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and which could be detrimental to me. I don't want fearful people. I want confident people that can speak up
Yeah.
or find intelligent ways to navigate a situation that is difficult like that. So yeah, it's so interesting you said that. But I think yes, it will be very difficult to look people in the eye and check if they're honest. So a trait to look out for in your next hire, if you do want to assess their integrity and honesty, is to probably present them with a
Mm.
segue question or a case
Mm-hmm.
study
Scenario,
and
yeah.
use that to analyze their answers.
Absolutely. And that's another thing I would say. Obviously, we are not HR professionals, but we've been in the game so long that we know that direct questions in interviews don't always work.
They don't.
You have to set up a scenario, you have to create an emotional response, you have
Mm-hmm.
to trigger a memory. There's so many things you're going to do,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't
Mm-hmm.
say, so, are you confident? This is not going to work,
People still interview like
People
that.
do.
I believe
I've
that
seen it happen, and
actually.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Actually, why did I say that? Yes, it took a while to reorientate my HR
Mm,
on the right way
mm,
because we went through a period where we had so much turnover and I didn't understand it. Then in digging in, I realized that her approach to interviews and interviewing people was part of the problem. It
yeah,
was almost like she would say, are you confident?
yeah,
Can you carry a tray?
yeah,
I hope you're honest.
yeah. I
They're gonna
hope you're
say yes.
honest.
Yeah, like do you get what I
What
mean? Well,
else would I say? No, actually, I'm a little bit of a liar. So those, those are, and again, everything we've said really kind of comes together in just trying to hire emotionally intelligent people, which is hard. It's hard.
I think even no offense, but even our peers are still struggling with emotional
Depending on
intelligence.
the situation, I struggle with emotional
I
intelligence.
still struggle with emotional
So yeah,
intelligence.
yeah.
So to actually expect that in people you hire is a trait you must look out
Look out for.
for. They must have some level of it.
Like a little seed, and then you develop it over time, I suppose. Like,
That makes
there's
sense,
there's
actually.
some things that people might not necessarily react to a certain way because of culture or bringing background, but then if you're a good leader or whatever, then you're able to instill some of these things.
What
But
is
you're
an
right.
example of an emotional intelligence in a team? So I have I have a mix. I
Mm-hmm.
have people on my team who have zero emotional intelligence, but
Yeah.
they're highly skilled.
Yeah.
And it's a big problem I'm facing because I have to make decisions of whether the skill
Mm-hmm.
outweighs the fact I need
Mm.
you to be able to be
Mm-hmm.
emotionally
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
intelligent, or
Mm-hmm.
if you're disturbing my culture
Mm-hmm.
with your terrible emotional intelligence, but you're highly skilled.
I
So it's actually quite
know.
an interesting thing for me at the moment to stop
Hmm.
prioritizing skill over emotional
Emotional
intelligence because it
intelligence.
affects my organizational culture, and that's a journey I'm on at this very moment.
I think for me, I've had skilled team members who just I don't put them in front of clients because there's
Mm-hmm.
no reason to expose them to that, but they may be super skilled in their field of
Mm.
expertise. So you're right, there's a delicate
What about
balance.
with other colleagues?
So that's the thing. There's an internal emotional intelligence as well, how to treat
Mm.
your colleagues and how to get on with them. And I think there's that delicate balance of trying to see whether your skill outweighs your lack of emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, there is a certain level of zero emotional awareness or intelligence that would you have to leave.
You have
You
to
have to
leave.
leave. There's
Yes.
nothing that can
So that means
salvage it.
emotional intelligence is very profound in
It
that
is.
case
It is.
because for me to be overthinking it compared to skill, that's
Mm.
a big deal, right?
It's almost like you're willing to see how long you can last, but there's always a tell. There's always a place in which and I'm sorry, but this is something we were just thinking about, and I've never actually really thought about it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, in my
Mm.
interview process, but people who are serial, you had mentioned this before. People they're just bodies. They're
Mm-hmm.
like serial employees.
That's the word for them.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just jumping. Like,
I can't stand it. So for me, that's that. Thank you for that. That's actually something you need to be aware of when you look at the person's CV or you ask them their journey on their career or job journey, footprint,
mm,
whatever way you want to call it. Watch out for potential flight risk.
yep.
There's some people that genuinely get bored easily and they see jobs as something to be bored of. They don't
Mm,
see it as something to be done to get to the next stage. I
mm-hmm,
don't think anybody sits there and literally fantasizes about going to work.
mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that grounding discipline,
Yeah, yeah.
the ability to stay in a place for a long
Mm-hmm,
time, to figure it, to learn, to
mm-hmm,
grow,
mm-hmm.
that flight risk, watch out for it, is a big
I
problem.
agree, 100%. And okay, so
I didn't actually hire someone recently because of that. I really liked them, but their CV,
oh,
nothing was past six,
it's like
7 months. I
yeah,
did not, and they
yeah,
were so good.
yeah. That's when it shocks you. It's like you're so well spoken, so well interviewed, so talented.
But I knew they would leave me.
Yeah,
There
they
was no,
will. They
and the
will.
person was like, no, it's because of and it gave like the most beautiful logic, which
Mm,
I noticed she had practiced
mm-hmm,
enough to attack that line of questioning
mm-hmm,
because she's
mm-hmm.
been asked a lot of times.
Probably.
But I did not, nothing you can say can convince me of why you have left 5 jobs every 6 months.
And when you're building something, right? When you're building something that you want to be sustained, then
I
you
don't need
can't.
that.
To me, it's one of the most painful things, and it's so jarring because I have to start this process all over again.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's a good one. And okay, so we have been talking about the traits. You asked a very important question at the beginning. What are the traits you look for? And we don't want to de-emphasize the importance of technical skill because truly,
Oh,
if you're
so
hiring a chef
important.
and you have emotional intelligence and problem solving and initiative, but you can't fry an egg, we're not gonna hire you. So it's not about just having all those traits but not having the technical things.
Timmy, thanks for saying that. I also want to mention that depending on the industry you're hiring
Mm-hmm.
for, sometimes the traits you look out for are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started hiring, chefs. You see that Gordon Ramsay show
You
you
don't know
watch?
how you hire
That's how they
chefs.
are. It is absolutely terrible. The amount of swear words, the amount of things breaking, the amount of
Mm-hmm.
shouting.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, my partners get in there with them, tops off, everybody's shouting, Atari is cussing, KV is going, pass the egg. Like when it gets really crazy, I'm going in there, I'm breaking a plate, shouting, everybody
Oh my
shut up
days.
while we
Can you do
fighting.
a reality TV series called The House?
We're actually, so we're
Please.
thinking of it. And interestingly enough, Fatherland is on deck to potentially produce a back end for us. But the point
Please.
I'm trying to make is that when I'm hiring a chef,
Mm.
I actually don't need them to be emotionally intelligent as a
Just
start.
cook well.
Just be excellent and know
Yes.
how to manage. In fact, if you have a head chef that's too emotionally intelligent, he's going to spend more time focused on the people
Mm.
as opposed to focused on the
Yeah.
technical
Yeah.
side of
Yeah.
the dishes, growing them.
Yeah.
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 You want a chef that is balanced. So, what I'm trying to say essentially is When I first hired my chef and I thought he was a bit crazy, it worked. I don't even know what to
He's
say.
mad genius.
It worked.
Yeah.
I guess one like different traits. If you're
Yeah.
hiring for an oil rig, you need, I don't know, somebody with a different type of, I don't know,
Yeah.
tenacity. Maybe what
Yeah.
you're looking for is not curiosity and
Curiosity,
drive.
like,
Maybe it's
yeah,
someone who actually can survive.
focus, resilience, things like
Resilience,
that. Yes,
tenacity,
yes, yes, yes,
safety.
yes, yes.
Like you don't need them. Okay,
In
maybe they
fact, you
can be
almost,
curious in solutions,
but
but
you know what's funny? There is a way that people can, like, curiosity can connote a sort of like
I
fluidity.
agree.
No, some roles need to be rigid. You
Yes,
just
yes,
need to be
but
rigid
you can still have these traits within
within.
it.
So
I
ask
agree.
questions if something is wrong, but not just this
To be fair, if
meandering.
you're an Ori guy, you're not curious and ready to adapt and have a sense of
So
ownership, you might end up
I
dying.
think that adaptability is more important than curiosity in their
Fair
own
enough,
case.
fair
But
enough,
like
fair
they,
enough.
but you're right. You just nailed it. Like there are certain, and there's certain roles even within industries that require more of one and less of the other.
I agree.
An accountant absolutely needs to be honest. Do they need to be communicate? I don't know. Just give me the report at the
The
end of
funny
the.
thing is, all accountants are terrible
They're so
communicators,
bad.
except the. Okay,
They
Stephanie's
see
not
in
gonna watch.
numbers. They
Yes,
see in
I mean
numbers.
they're
Yeah.
new, like firms that are more
Yes,
modern,
of
and you have the
course.
owners are a bit
Yeah.
understanding of
Yes.
the gaps,
Yes.
and they're changing or
Yeah.
adapting for it.
Yes.
But accountants generally
Just
they need communication courses.
focus.
They're so terrible.
Wow.
My team are always fighting the accountant, and he's never stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always stressed. This guy will not pay 50 people
Mm-hmm.
on time.
Mm-hmm.
And they will all be shouting and say, "Man, please, I've uploaded the file. This is me." Everyone is shouting. He said, "Man, they will get it within the hour."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, can you have a sense of
Like
urgency?
communicate or just be like, they're just like
No, they
facts,
don't
numbers.
communicate.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that like reframing of it as well. So, okay, quick rapid fire. Do you prioritize attitude over skill?
Whoo! Yes,
Okay.
at the moment.
Okay.
Now, that is because in certain roles,
Mm-hmm.
in majority of the roles in the restaurant right now,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me explain. A lot of our work is transferable skills.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be born with it. You don't need to like go
Yeah.
into a school for it. You can do certain courses that make you stronger at it,
Mm-hmm.
but we can teach it. So most times these days, when I used to hire for skill or hire seasoned like hospitality staff, it was always stealing. It
Mm-hmm.
was always a lot of like bad attitude. They
Mm-hmm.
were the confidence. It wasn't confidence. It came across as arrogant. It wasn't. I didn't find that they were seasoned or experienced. They were presenting as seasoned or experienced. They were presenting as problematic because I'm the only good one in the
Mm-hmm.
country.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that the best way to preserve my business at the time was to raise the service level of the entire ecosystem, which meant people like me could not be scared to bring new waiters into the fold. Or so our focus was now on training.
Mm-hmm.
That was how we hired. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the fear. So we hired green
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of our roles. And I still do that till today. So a lot of our supervisors and managers are people who have grown from bottom positions. So they're not skilled. We have to teach them the skill. For example, the lady who is doing our social media at the terrace is ready to be a business development person.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have the choice of hiring someone or growing her. When and I will choose to grow her because I'm hiring for the attitude first.
Mm-hmm.
She's great, she's loyal, she's willing, she's energetic. I will teach her the experience. If I bring someone skilled in, I will still teach in my experience, which can get frustrating. I will still have to guide, and it might still not be good,
Yeah.
and it might end.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. The reason why,
What
and
about you?
yeah, the reason why, and I would say I have peers in like similar industries who prefer to hire for skill over attitude. But the reason
Mm-hmm.
I hire for attitude is because I taught myself the skill
Mm.
that. that I had to.
Guys,
I
stop.
no,
Nope, nope, nope. A moment of silence for that. You heard
no.
it here first. I love that, Tammy. You taught yourself the skill.
Yes, I taught
Yeah.
myself the skill. So imagine now being so arrogant to think that there are not other people out there who deserve the same opportunity. So basically, you start an agency, you start really small, you're one, two, three people. You are actually building together. So their attitude and their willingness for you to also make mistakes. Because imagine I start an agency, I'm not the most skilled web developer or graphic designer or whatever, but
Mm,
I know this is what I want to do for my
mm,
clients. So I hire people. They may be green. In fact, sometimes they are green simply because the capacity I even had to hire like skilled people at the time
mm-hmm.
was low. I love
I
when
love that
people,
admission as well, the capacity
yeah,
to even hire for the skill.
I
It
didn't.
changes
It
over
changes over
the
time.
evolvement of the
And when you
business.
grow with people, and
Ooh.
that satisfaction of seeing somebody that kind of started with you with a willingness, a bit of skill, a lot of willingness, they always end up being very skilled. And then that
You
ownership.
also know that's why you're successful and on the journey to successful.
Amen.
Success is only measured when somebody else has grown under you.
Honestly.
So a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people realize it, but I actually spend most of my life developing people. In
Mm-hmm.
turn, it develops my business,
Yeah.
and in turn,
Yeah.
I'm successful all the
Because
same.
there are strategies that exist in this day and age where, and sometimes people get frustrated with your growth or trajectory or how maybe slow they perceive it to be, where they're like, why don't you just hire this person from London, or
Mm-hmm.
why don't you just hire this da 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 da?
Mm,
And I'm like, no guys, that is such a cold and unfeeling strategy. Why would I
mm,
hire the best of everybody? Yes, it's going to make my
mm,
company seem like the best of everybody, but then you have 12
mm.
egos clashing with each other.
And it's not necessarily
It's
the
just
answer
not it.
sometimes.
I
I'm
don't mind being
currently
slow and
going
steady.
that.
I don't mind being slow and steady.
Oh
Oh,
my
please, guys, not saying that
God.
I don't want to make a profit and to grow, but I don't want to rush things simply because I'm arrogant enough to think that there is no room to grow other
Timmy,
people.
what you just said, I just had a light bulb moment. I had I have like six excellent people in my business.
Mm-hmm.
Top, high
Mm-hmm.
level,
Mm-hmm.
my level.
Mm-hmm.
We're struggling to come together. So
Mm.
I've had to create something called the engine room
Mm-hmm.
to bring us together. Let's talk more. 2 years later, we're still at it. We're still chugging along. We're still not
Yeah.
gelling
Gelling, yeah.
well. And that's because each of them are such powerhouses.
Mm-hmm.
They need to figure out how they lean into each other,
Mm-hmm.
give each other feedback. So,
Mm-hmm.
what you just said now is actually so key, which means some industries require it.
Yes.
So, even in our business, my chef has to be skilled, my
Yes.
general manager has to be skilled.
Yes.
There's certain roles has
Medical.
to be.
I mean, if you are running a hospital, please don't do what I did and
Yeah, don't
hire,
teach
don't
yourself.
teach anybody, just hire the best. But yes, I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really love this. Another thing you said that made me pause is finding people that get it is tough. No, it shouldn't be as tough as it is. I'm trying to pick my words carefully here, but a lot of us are in situations where it is actually a tough thing to do. When I sit with Tammy, our other friends, and we talk about work and business, what's everyone's thing?
People.
People. All of you watching this, whether you're small, whether you're a medium enterprise, our big problem is people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first question people always ask me is, how do you find your people? How do you find your people, Timmy?
Ah,
Or when you want good
good
people,
people.
what are the different ways or tricks and tips you
Yeah.
use? Or what are the like, how do you find people?
Honestly, historically speaking, I've used every avenue. Job boards, referrals, family members. Um, but I would say that what was a pivotal moment in my journey was I outsourced my hiring to an HR consulting company called
Mm.
Bridgemead. And I would say they completely transformed my internal structure. Now, I think it's good
Mm.
at some point in your journey because, again, some small businesses are bootstrapping in the beginning. Maybe they can't afford it. When you get to a point where you think it's important enough for you to outsource to a professional, and what Bridgemead does is they also work with people, your HR staff internally. So either they place or second or whatever, but there will
Mm-hmm.
be a point person in your organization, and then they, because their hiring process and their sourcing process is very rigorous, and that's
Mm.
something that owners can't always do.
Get through,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's a very rigorous
I really like that. So you
Yeah.
use like outsourced
I do,
HR
but now I've
agencies
gotten to a point where I actually need an HR person in my
in-house.
organization. Yes,
Okay.
and I would recommend that to almost anyone as soon as you
I
can
started off with that.
have an HR person within, because they're the gatekeepers for culture,
Mm,
payroll, different things. Like you need them,
mm-hmm,
and they
mm-hmm.
also can help you then find people, onboard people, interview people. So
Yeah.
HR is very important.
I typically have, for me, I don't do anything without a CV and a
Oh
profile
yes,
first.
yes.
I can't think straight. I've had people reach out to me and say, Tobes, I'm looking for this role. And I don't know how to do that. If
Mm-hmm,
I'm going to reach out to someone to say I'm looking for a role, I share a CV
mm-hmm,
or a candidate profile to start with,
mm-hmm.
because I find that there's a level of looseness I attach to it when I just say to someone, I'm looking for this. And it's like, okay, do you think the person has this person hiding somewhere that they're just going to pluck and give to you? Or is it that I'm not really sure? So for me, I would always encourage everyone to start with creating a CV or a candidate profile of what you're looking for. What that does is it helps you very quickly not get distracted when you meet other candidates that are exciting, but actually don't fit what you're looking for. So you don't get
Yeah.
distracted. Now, when I'm done with that, I go on WhatsApp groups. So I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed that they're now professional WhatsApp groups where you have like really good candidates or people who know someone in their network.
Please hook me up. I need one
Yes.
of those. Yeah.
So definitely I drop
Yeah.
them in those WhatsApp groups.
Mm-hmm.
I also reach out to different HRs that I know to help
Mm.
me drop that CV in
Okay.
those candidate
Okay.
those profiles
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
There's also a returnees group, a group
Mm.
of a lot of expatriates who come and hang out in Nigeria quite a lot. It's actually a socializing group, but I tend to drop CVs in there because you'll be so surprised that as many people are leaving the country, a lot of people are also coming into the country. A lot of people are actually job hunting. So I put them in there as well. And someone would always reach out and say, oh, I have this platform, I can help you with this, or I've been trying to move back. I would love something like this to help me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
those have helped in the past.
Okay.
Recommendations.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
cannot speak on them enough.
Yeah.
But have that CV ready before you
Yeah.
ask for a recommendation, please.
Because no matter what avenue you use, there must be that CV
Or a
element of it all.
profile
Yeah.
of
Because
who
even
you're
if you're
looking
like,
for.
my sister is the best at this, okay, let her come with her CV and her cover letter and everything, and just,
Mm-hmm.
like samples of work or whatever, anything that can help her chances of being hired. But I really do love recommendations. There's that layer
Yes.
of
And networking as
accountability. Oh,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Networking
yeah.
events have
Yeah.
also helped. Have and socials.
Yeah. Okay. That's how I found a couple of my, yeah.
Yes, that's how I found people.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna tell you a very scary story.
Oh,
It's how I
gosh.
found my driver. It's
Social
so
media.
scary. I know. And he's been with me for 5 years. I noticed how even my producer looked to the right, like, what?
Not
What?
your driver. That's a new
But
one.
it was so scary, but it
Mm,
shows me I
mm,
had posted that I was driving
mm,
and I was very tired.
mm,
And a girl reached out to me. She would always DM me here and there and we would chat. And she DM'd me and she goes, I really like you. I have one man for you. You're going to enjoy him for he's a fantastic human being. And I told myself, eh? You want to set me up? You don't
mm,
want to come and kill me in my house.
mm-hmm.
Like, God forbid, never. I ignored the CV. I was looking, 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 looking. 2 months, I still didn't find. So I said I took the CV. I didn't tell anybody where I got it from because I didn't want to be judged. So I gave it to my HR. I was like, interview this man for me. She interviewed him and did a test. And she came and she goes, I really like him. I think that's your driver. I
Mm-hmm.
said, yeah. I said, should I confess? I thought, no, I'm not confessing. I called my brother. I made him do the same. I had 5 people interviewing, all of them positive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So I hired him. I said, God, what will be, will be.
Only you know what is
What
really
will be,
going
will
on.
be.
Yeah.
5 years later, we're still together.
Well, now we all know the truth. So thank you for that, Toby.
So, socials.
But it's a good one. It's a good one because
Yeah.
it's like crowdsourcing as well. Sometimes
Yeah.
people, they send it to their friend, to their friend, to their friend, or
Yes.
whatever. So I would say that, yeah, there's so many different ways, you know.
Even with our podcast as well, when we're hiring, like we
Oh
have
yeah,
like
like
lots of like
Obi, my
posters.
assistant, was,
Yeah.
through my sister's TikTok.
Are
So
you
yes,
serious?
I
Are
did a
you
huge.
joking?
I had 80 CVs my sister was like, my sister's looking for an assistant. 80 CVs in like 1 week.
I used to.
I
So
did
socials work. I
I did
like that.
50 interviews.
Socials
So
work.
yeah, but then again, the structure was there. Come with a CV. I had all my questions. It was
Exactly.
rigorous. It was everything. But yes.
Another thing I would recommend that a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't do is have an open day in your company where you do interviews just for the sake of
Mm.
it. It's a little trick I do and it always works for me.
Mm.
And I hope it helps other people. So, say you
Oh
decide
my God, I love
twice a
that.
month
Yeah.
or once a week. For our industry, I like to do it often. So, once every 2 weeks, we
What?
have a day.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah. And it's just an open call day from
So where
9
do you
to
communicate
11
it? Like where do you put it
on
out?
different
Okay.
places, on those
Is
private.
there a cap?
No, you can walk
So
in
like
when
a
we're
hundred people?
because it's timed.
Ah,
If you
okay,
don't
okay.
make that
Okay,
slot,
okay,
we're not
okay then.
interviewing
Okay,
you.
okay,
So
okay.
imagine every Monday, 9 to 11, we're
Yeah.
doing interviews. So
Okay.
when you come, you get a number. And when 11 is done, it's done. So if there's 100 of you between 9 to 11, but trust me,
So do
it's
you have like a
impossible.
database of that? Because like obviously
Yes, so
you
we then keep a database so that way
okay.
we always have candidates
Oh,
on file.
amazing. Guys,
So that's my little
you
trick.
have learned something
Yes.
new today because I'm legitimately about to do that.
It's
Like,
helpful. So you have a truckload of
oh
graphics. You
my
have a truckload. Let them
goodness.
just keep interviewing, and then one day you can call them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something I do as well that
Okay.
helps.
Okay.
That way you're never desperate.
Amazing.
You always have a pool.
Amazing. I'm so sorry. I'm still like, and you know why I like that? Because I remember when I was doing the interviews, not only for assistants, but any role I'm ever interviewing for, I have there's always in a spreadsheet.
I
So one day,
know.
my friend Ty was like, "I'm looking for somebody," and I was like, "Here's my spreadsheet."
In case you find
Because I ranked
somebody.
them
I
A, B,
love
C, D, red, green. So
that.
it's like you
That
can,
brings me
yeah.
to another thing as well. There's a company called Recruit Drive, and they actually
Mm.
have the sole distribution for a lot of the assessments
Mm-hmm.
in Nigeria.
I just hired a brand strategist for them, FYI.
Really,
Yes.
that's from them.
From Recruit Drive.
I love that.
Yeah.
But guys, literally Google this company. If you want the contact, you can reach out to us. I will
Mm-hmm.
give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
They actually helped staff my entire company when I first started. They
Mm.
staffed literally over 150 people for me from scratch. And over time, all my assessments, if I'm hiring someone, they do it first. And then I have to decide if these candidates are
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
They also have a pool of candidates in their database as
Yeah.
well who have all taken assessments. So you
Yeah.
can rate them. You see their like proficiency, you see their
Yeah.
soft issues, their skill set, how much they want, where they work, their background checks, all ready for you. And all you have to do is just get the pool. So honestly, reach out. So that's another way. I wanted to quickly touch before we wrap up. When you then have people who get it, another thing I want to address, Timmy, is employers sometimes are not in the position to receive employees that get it.
I know.
And I don't think it's from a wicked place or a place of, for most of them, they're just so busy. But when someone who gets it comes to work for you, there's a lot of work to be put in this person as well.
Yeah.
The question is, how what is that level of attention they need, and how does an employer also make time, create processes to
Yeah.
water this person that gets it so that they can keep getting it? Because half the time
Mm-hmm.
in Nigeria, the issue is not always just the employees.
Mm-hmm.
We as employers as well, I don't know if a lot of us are equipped, empowered, or have the capacity
Mm-hmm.
to also grow these people the way they're meant to be grown
Mm-hmm.
at every point.
I mean, okay, so we say this almost every episode. It's also about intentionality, right? So if you as an owner are like really invested in people that get it, you're going to work it into all your processes.
That's
You're
true.
going to
I
work
take
it,
that
right?
completely
Yes.
because that's what I
That's
do,
what
and
you
that's what
do.
you do as
So
well.
you're going to make sure that from beginning to end, it is part of, like, in fact, something that people may overlook sometimes is your onboarding, the actual the act of onboarding, which is after you've hired the person and you like them. There's going to be, it could be slides, it could be demonstration. I don't know. Different people do it different ways.
I think
You need to
that
emphasize that
onboarding is
in your
key. How
onboarding.
many weeks is your onboarding?
So it's well, there's onboarding, which is 1 week, and then there's probation, which is 3 months. I
Okay.
don't know if the two are kind of sort of.
Yeah. No, that's helpful. So
And in that
we
3 months, you're constantly reinforcing things. You're constantly doing mini
so
tests
I've
and
slightly
checks.
changed.
Okay.
I now create a 3-month plan.
Okay.
Your probation is 6 months, but there's
Okay.
a 3-month plan
Mm-hmm.
of the work.
Yeah.
is very hard for us, but
Yeah.
we've now built that in. So you're
Yeah.
onboarded,
Yeah.
onboarded. You
Onboarded.
have work
Yeah.
each week that you're doing, and we're marking,
So
we're
that's,
signing off.
yeah.
But it's a lot of work, I'm
It
not
is
gonna
that, and it's
lie.
hard a
I'm
lot.
so
And
exhausted from it.
that's the truth. You just mentioned a very, very important thing. So many Nigerians are bogged down and tired. So in your mind, you're thinking, "Oh, let's just get on with it. I don't know if I have time to pour into this
Mm,
process so deeply and thoroughly," but it pays off in the end.
it
It pays
does,
off in
it
the end because
does.
you have more people that get it, and then you can rest a bit because then they start getting it for you.
So essentially what we're
So,
saying is don't hire the right people, and then
mm-hmm,
you're not also creating the right environment
absolutely.
for everything to be right.
So now, we've really been talking about what to like, how to, and what to look for.
Hmm.
But have you ever had an experience where you thought somebody got it and then they ended up just not getting it, or maybe they showed perfect traits at the end the whole interview process, right? And how did you deal with it? Like, how do you deal with it on a daily
Honestly,
basis?
I've had that situation happen a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and sadly, I get stuck in a bit of a wheel
Mm-hmm.
where I the hard part in that situation is you thinking they would get it or assuming they understand it to get it. Then you find yourself on a journey thinking, what's the issue? What's the issue? Let me help you
Mm-hmm.
through it. Because you are genuinely committed
Mm-hmm.
to being that good employer,
Mm-hmm.
you're committed. But what you realize or you don't call very quickly is make that call that, oh, I think I might have made a mistake. I don't think this person genuinely gets it. So you keep going
Mm-hmm.
and then it burns you.
So,
I don't know if that's ever happened to you before where
yeah.
like you
What
keep trying.
At what point do you offboard?
So the first few times was hard because I didn't
Mm.
understand what was going on. There's a guilt, there's an inexperience that
Mm-hmm.
kind of overwhelms you
Mm-hmm.
as an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur because you don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But now it is very swift for
Okay.
me. I have like things in place
Yeah.
that I use to check.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ask myself a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is it them? Is it me? Is it the
Mm-hmm.
work? Is it the
Mm-hmm.
process? So I have a questionnaire now.
Yeah.
Once I tick it,
Yeah.
it tells me exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Should I now be thinking of letting you go?
Yeah.
Do I need to make better? Do I need to step back in? Meaning your manager is probably not doing their
That's
job
true.
well enough
That's
because
true.
sometimes it might not be you, it
That's
might be
true.
who I have put to manage you.
Yeah.
And then another option is it's time to go. You're
Mm-hmm.
actually overcompensating.
Mm-hmm.
You've either outgrown them
Mm-hmm.
or they just don't want to be here anymore. So we make that journey. Yeah.
And it's also really important to note that you mentioned checks. Like,
Always
do you
checks
understand?
because it's not a straight.
No, you
No,
you
no,
can't
no.
you can't offboard somebody out of frustration. There has to be
No.
a process. But the reality is that you are dealing with people at the end of the day. There's so many factors at
Mm.
play. I've had, and this was the most this was I had a member of my team who got it. Like
Mm.
100% could just didn't have to micromanage, like just owned
What
his
was the
own.
problem?
It's time to start a family.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Then other things start
yeah.
coming in, and you're
Yes.
like,
His
have you ever felt like you want us to step in to help him
I
through it?
I
Because it's
started
not something
asking
that should
I
change.
started asking him questions. Listen, without wanting to sound like I've been there before. I'm like,
Mm.
is there anything that you need help with? Is there something that we
Mm.
can do to assist you? I think what happened was when two become one, the other person's motivations and the other person's
It
value
becomes tough.
systems, it
Yeah.
starts to impact. And so the person was probably like, you need to be making more. It could be something like you should be earning more.
Yeah.
So several things,
That's
can
actually
yeah.
so interesting as
Yeah.
well. That man, it's a bit of a conundrum
Mm-hmm.
because it's a constant cycle.
It is.
Yes, and I feel like everyone just keeps learning through the cycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How does it feel when you lose someone that gets it?
Devastating.
Yes, it feels like a breakup,
It does feel like a
truly.
breakup. It takes me a while to get over it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is so interesting, which
Yeah.
is why the HR is so key in
Yeah.
your company because as an entrepreneur, we also have to admit we're very emotional
Mm-hmm.
about our businesses. So when people leave you, it does hurt, especially when they get it. It's like, oh, finally found someone good. And then
Finally, yeah.
they're about to leave. It's like, I don't want to let you go.
Yeah.
And that process, I would say, pay attention to it because it's not easy. It's actually a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tough. So
Mm-hmm.
hire HR to help you buffer
Mm-hmm.
or don't get too close.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I can say.
Okay.
Don't get too close. right, that was fun.
It was fun and I hope it was helpful. If you're a business owner with people, please let us know how you know when they get it. Let us know what you do if they don't. And just, chat with us like you always do.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed today's topic. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.